That's when that trumpet sound, boy, you don't wanna miss out. Either in or you're out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in the Lord or you're out the Lord. Either in or you're out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in the Lord or you're out.
In the early hours of Saturday morning, Venezuela's capital was rocked by explosions. And now U.S. officials are confirming a major escalation. According to CBS News, U.S. President Donald Trump ordered strikes on sites inside Venezuela, including military facilities, as Washington sharply intensified its campaign against the government of President Nicolás Maduro. Sources tell CBS News the Trump administration is aware of reports of explosions and aircraft over Caracas. But as of now, there has been no official public comment from the White House. On the ground, the situation appears chaotic. Eyewitness videos and journalist reports describe missile-like strikes, low-flying aircraft, and power outages across parts of the capital. Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, issued an urgent warning to the world. He said, "Right now, they are bombing Caracas. They are bombing with missiles. The OAS and the UN must meet immediately." The U.S. military has acknowledged reports of explosions in Caracas, but a Pentagon spokesperson refused to confirm or deny any American involvement, according to the New York Times. Witnesses reported activity at least 6 sites, including areas near Fort Tuna Army Base, La Carota Air Base, the 23 de Enero neighborhood, and in the vicinity of Miraflores Palace, the presidential residence. Venezuelan Defense Minister Diosdado Cabello's home at Fort Tuna Base was reportedly hit by shelling. Meanwhile, unverified footage circulating online shows Venezuelan forces detaining residents near the presidential palace as armored vehicles and tanks reportedly move toward the seat of power. In other videos, still unconfirmed, locals are heard screaming, "The Marines! The Marines have arrived!" Additional footage claims to show American forces storming Venezuelan ports and what appears to be U.S. Air Force strikes on Venezuelan army bases.
Don't settle for less. Here's what others are doing to fix missing and broken teeth. The company everyone has been raving about is called Nuvia.
Say something now.
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear it?
Say something now.
Mic check, mic check.
Well, that's what we have to do with that.
All right.
Let's roll.
We need to reread that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're reading what we just saw video attack on Venezuela. This is from The Guardian. This was 2 hours ago. It says, is there any legal justification for the U.S. attack on Venezuela? It says Donald Trump said on Saturday morning that U.S. troops had carried out a large-scale strike on Venezuela and captured its president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores. The couple has now been indicted in New York on terrorism and drug charges. Trump has accused Maduro of running a narco-terrorism organization. However, the legality of the operation has been called into question, with even some of Trump's allies suggesting it violated international law. So yeah.
So he's saying that they got him on some RICO charges.
Yeah, he's saying the gangsters.
Right.
He went in there like a gangster and kidnapped him and then blew up. What's
Yeah. Those gangsters. Yeah, it's really gang banging back.
Right, because it started with the boat.
He's a USA mafia boss.
That's what it is. He started off with the drug boat. He didn't blew them up to smithereens.
Right.
But then one of the people didn't die, something like that in the process. And then you done took an oil boat, and they ain't got video of you doing that. You said, nah, we wasn't there. And then see them patches, U.S. Coast Guard, Marines, Navy SEALs, and all them.
They bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Babylon got to burn.
Yeah.
when it do burn.
Too much corruption.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, all praises on that, Arkeed. That was my first time hearing about that.
That was our vision.
Okay, all praises our vision.
Via Hezekiah.
And that's crazy though. Like, this just shows you that, like, you can't be comfortable out here thinking, oh, that never happened. Like, man, these people they're criminals. So all praises. We're gonna just keep moving up into this lesson. Can y'all? I don't know if I can see the screen. But basically, we know.
No, we got to put it back up there.
From even what we just saying, right? We know we living in times that is winding up. We know we in a different, like, dispensation, a different time period than probably our grandparents and everybody like that was. That we know they always say, "Oh, it's the end of the world, it's the last days." But we closer than they was now. So I mean, we can it's just even more evident now. So that's the whole purpose of this platform, is to try to come give truth, is to awaken our people and move in the righteousness of Yahuwah, so we don't get caught up in the ways of the world and be subject to the judgment that's coming, right? It all boils down to obedience. And it all boils down to obedience and getting some understanding on direction on where we're trying to go. And that's what we want to talk about today is, calculating the appointed times or the feast days. So y'all might hear us, speak about the feast days a lot if you never, have been privy to the feast, then this might be new information to you, right? But coming out of the so-called holiday season, we know it's a whole lot of days that people was looking forward to, people was keeping. We came out of Thanksgiving. Everybody was hype about that. Black Friday, Christmas, all of these days that people are entrenched in, right? But when it comes to the Bible, we don't see any of this in the scriptures. But what we do see in the scriptures is the Shabbat. What we do see in the scriptures is Pesach. What we do see is unleavened bread. So we see the feast days in the scriptures. And if we say we're going to be scriptural, we should be doing scriptural things. So how do we determine and how do we figure when these days are? Because there's a whole, another system that we're getting introduced to, right? Because what we're looking at now, when we wake up and we go to work and we say, hey, meet me over here on this day, we're looking at the Gregorian calendar. So the Gregorian calendar is the newest addition to the calendar system that we have here in this Babylonian captivity over here in America. We're under the Gregorian calendar, but there's a calendar from the fathers, and that calendar is put down in the scriptures, which we're going to look at. Let me share the screen. Boom. Boom.
As soon as you get it, I'll pull it up. I don't think you can do it.
Okay. Let's see. And I'm gonna start off in all right. Can you see it?
Yeah, talking about you got Trump up there.
Yeah, what about this? Can you see this?
Mm-hmm. So you gotta go back to the
Go back to that main one.
no. So go back to StreamYard and then close stop sharing and then go back to that share and then click on whatever else you're trying to show.
I was just doing it up there. I just have to pull it up and it's still book of Ecclesiasticus, or they might call it Sirach, and your Apocrypha. Show there.
Mm-hmm.
Sirach 43.
Blow it up some out.
All right. Sirach 43, and we're gonna start about verse 6. So at verse 6 of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 43, it says, "He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world." All right, so just looking at that right there, that's what he made the moon for. The moon is to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. So it's all of these things, right? Then in verse 7 it says, "From the moon is the sign of the feast," plural. From the moon is the sign of the feast. So that's how you get the feast days. It's from the moon. A light that decreases in her perfection. A light that decreases in her perfection. So now these two verses right here, you got to really pay attention to, because this is going to get you your understanding of how the feast is spotted, but it can also cause confusion. So as a group of believers, he told us that we should commune on these days and we should gather, and these are called Kodash Mikras, or set apart gatherings, right? In the English and the KJV, holy convocations. So the Bible tells us that we should gather on these certain days. Now, in the Israelite community, what you're going to find out is there's a lot of folks that just can't agree on days, right? And you'll see some people doing things 15 days ahead of the other or 15 days after the other. So somebody might have Passover, and you say, well, they Passover a couple weeks ago. Why are we just getting ours now? It's because of this verse right here, these two verses right here. So in Sirach chapter 43 and verse 7, it says, "From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection." This verse, honestly, right here, this is what's making the confusion or the clarity. So there's a belief that the moon was created on day 4, which the scriptures do attest to the luminaries being created on day 4, right? But there's a teaching that the moon was created as a full moon. Now, I don't know if we have any proof of that. You see what I'm saying? All he said was let there be lights in the expanse, and it was. When at the time of creation, was it a slither? Was it a full moon? Was it half? Like, we don't know that, but to infer that it was a full moon and that is the new moon, right? Or that, yeah. So that's where the confusion is happening. That some people believe a full moon is a new moon, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why they believe that is because they believe that the moon was created full when it was created, full of light. Now, in this verse, the same proponents of that thought, the same people that think like that, they will think that it says from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. They think that means the moon started off perfect. But when we look at the etymology of perfection, let me see if I can do this. Can you still see this?
The script.
Can we? Okay, I can share this tab instead. Right?
Yeah, I see.
All right, cool. All right, we learning. Etymology. And the etymology is just the truth behind the words, right? Mm-hmm. And it just breaks the words down. So can y'all see this?
Yes, sir.
So perfection comes from these Latin words, perficere, perfectio, down to perfect. And the definition that is given us is the condition or state of quality of being free or as free as possible from all flaws or defects. So to be, without defect, that's one definition. A person or thing perceived to embodiment of perfection. Also, the action or process of improving something until it is faultless or as faultless as possible. So to just sit here and say, oh, well, the moon is in its perfection and it starts the month off like that, that doesn't necessarily mean that, right? Because it could be a process of perfecting. So the moon starts off in a dark state. Then light hits it. Now we got a new moon. And then it will gradually fulfill its course until it's a full moon. And then now it makes sense. Now, some folks just don't see it like that, right? But we got another, I'm going to pull up another translation. Oops. So does that make any sense, though? Like, what I'm saying is there's two forms of thoughts in the Hebrew Israelite community. You got those who believe that the new moon is the full moon. Then you got those who think that it's either a dark moon or a first slither, right? So if whatever you choose to go with, you're going to be bound to them days for the whole year.
Yeah.
So now, you're going to go set your dates. You're going to have your feast. And we're never going to see each other because we're going to be on different schedules. So I'm going to go to another translation. All right, Sirach 43. This is the Revised Version Catholic edition, right? Just want to look at this translation.
No, some more Hebrew.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right, verse 6. A little more.
No, it's cool.
It says, he made the moon also to serve in its season, to mark the times, and to be an everlasting sign. From the moon comes the signs the sign for the feast days. All right, same thing we just read, right? But then right here it says a light that wanes when it has reached the full. But you see the difference in that wording? It's telling you that it's a light that wanes when it has reached the full. In the other version, it said, from the moon is a sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. So the only way it decreases in her perfection is if we understand that this light wanes when it reaches the full. So when it says wane, it means the light should start going away. So this is actually showing us the cycle of the moon. You see what I'm saying? Because it's only going to wane once it reaches its perfection, once it gets to a full moon. Once it gets to a full moon, then we know we're going to be on to something. All right, let's go to the book of, let me see what I sent you next. I think we want to go Exodus chapter 12. Let's go Exodus chapter 12. And it says at verse 1, it says, and Yahuwah spake unto Moshe and Aharon in the land of Mizraim, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. Now we know we just came out of New Year's Day celebrations all over America. Oh yeah, not us. Okay. Not us, but that's what the world just came out of, right? So how is that possible? Okay, so is that what he's talking about here in the scriptures? It said, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. So all Christians, or everybody who believe, even you Muslims who directly stole your whole doctrine from us, you stole your whole religion, your whole lifestyle from us, and then went forth and put a false prophet in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Can't say that,
I'll say whatever I want. Just because it's the truth, though. All praises. But that's what it is, and that's the point that we at, where we just got to call it out. January's Janus God is a false deity, right? That's what all of y'all just partook in and sold y'all souls into. Everybody who just partook in New Year's is on their way into the lake of fire if they don't repent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how, like, can we talk serious for a minute?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can say, oh, that's I like that. Let's go to the commandments. Let's go to the commandments real quick. I know we go through it a lot, but it just
a refresh.
It seems like it's like they're not getting it. Let's go to Exodus 20 at 1. Exodus 20 at 1. All right. I ran this down to a lady at work, and then she turned around and said, don't tell me that. All right, I won't tell you then. But I already did. It says, this is the commandments. These are the 10 commandments. If you don't know the 10 commandments, just go to Exodus chapter 20 and read it.
Right.
That's it. See, we ain't no geniuses up before you. We men and women that just went to the book.
Mm-hmm.
These are your commandments. It says, and Elohim, God, Elohim, the Most High, spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah the Elohim, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Now, back in Exodus 12, he said, this is the beginning of months. Now, we're about to see what month that is. But if that is not the same month that the Most High has put forth, why are we dealing with it? It says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. January. We just looked at the etymology, right? We're looking at the etymology. Let's just look, y'all, right? Because we got time. It's the Shabbat.
Yes, sir.
Etymology, which meaning basically the truth behind the words, the breakdown of the words. the root word of January? What is that root word of January? Can y'all see this?
Slide it up. There you go.
January. Origin. Januarius. Old English, because it wasn't no J's. Ian Uari. English. And then that comes down from Old English to Janus, and then January. So Old English January, from Latin Januarius, means month of Janus. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
See Janus, the Roman god who presides over doors and beginnings.
Mm.
And let's see there, and now let's go back to Exodus 20 real quick. He said, have no other gods before me. Verse 4, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness or anything that is in the heaven above or that is in the earth beneath or that is in the water under the earth. Let's go see who Janus is. So this is Janus. This is January. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Janus, the two-faced god, January.
Yeah, zoom in a little bit more on that one.
See that? So they always have a two-faced, one face facing one direction, the other facing the other, because he's supposed to be the god of the looking in the past and the future. He's the gateway or something, like whatever, right? But the Bible told us in verse 4 of Exodus chapter 20, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Mm-hmm. My question is that a graven image?
Yes, sir.
So we can't just say, oh, well, it's just something that we just do. This is the origin. The origin of January, which is one of the newest months added to the Roman calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So none of this stuff even makes sense. You got an idol, you got a false deity, and you have a false time. All of that's up under January. He said, thou shalt not make any graven image in the likeness of anything that's in heaven above and the earth beneath, that's in the water underneath. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. Oh, it's the New Year's. I gotta go and get some champagne. I gotta go get some grape juice for the kids. Like you have to. That sounds like servitude. I gotta go put these decorations up. I gotta do like you. Traditions of men. Vain. We feel obligated to get it popping for the feast days. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the Elohim that we serving. See, when you celebrate something, it really goes deep. It's really into worship. You're worshiping something. All your festivals, there's a God behind all these festivals. So now he told us don't bow down to him. Don't do this. He told us to keep certain days. Exodus, let's go back to 12. Because this is gonna spill the beans on what month this is. Mm-hmm. It says, and Yahuwah spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year unto you. Speak ye unto the congregation of Yasharal, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the house be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. All right. So we know that this is at verse 11. It says, and thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Passover. So this is the month of Passover. All right, so the first month of the year is the month of Passover. That's scripture. That's scripture. Exodus chapter 12, verse 2. Okay, that is your first month.
It wasn't freezing outside.
It don't even make sense for life to start in the middle of winter. Life don't start in the middle of winter. It's dead.
Yeah.
The whole year is a cycle of life. You know, why would your cycle of life, and that's how they got us backwards now. They got us trying to start the year in the middle of the dead. And they got us trying to be productive and to be they have us serving dead things. You know, all we do is chase money. All we do is chase the Joneses. All we do is chase the American nightmare. Literally, that's all we're chasing. So we're chasing dead things. Then you start a family in the middle of this dead thing. Then you start a career in the middle of this dead thing. And all this death around, you never even knew what life was because you didn't know the scriptures. You never was introduced to the truth of Yahuwah. So yeah, it's deeper than just, I just do it for the kids. First of all, you should raise up a child in the way he should go. And in the end, he will not depart from it. So it's not let the kids dictate how much fun we have in the house. It's, are we going to rear up this nation correctly? Are we going to rear up this family correctly? It says this at verse 3. Okay, well, let's go. Let's go somewhere else. Let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 16. Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 1. And y'all see what that says? It says, observe the month of Abib.
No, and stop sharing the Janice thing and then pull up. There you go.
You see it's now?
Yeah.
Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto Yahuwah thy Elohim. For in the month of Abib, Yahuwah thy Elohim brought thee out forth. It says, brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. All right, so we know this. And then verse 2. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahuwah thy Elohim of the flock and the herd in the place which Yahuwah shall choose to place his name there. So, right, once again, we're talking about the Passover. So remember in Exodus 12, he said, this will be the beginning of months to you. Now we know the name of that month. The name of that month is Abib. And what does that mean? It's the beginning of the year.
This is this one, the first month of the ancient Hebrew calendar corresponding to Nisan.
Okay, yep. So here it says fresh young barley, ears of barley. So that's what it really means, is like fresh barley, ears, produce jumping up, a bee, right? But what it also is month of ear forming, of greening of crop. It says green Abib, month of Exodus and Passover, March or April. So now we on to something. Right now we on to something. So,
Man, you know what?
What's up?
You know the Hebrew word, when you break down the letters, the aleph and the bet.
Mm-hmm.
The aleph is the most.
Is the
Bet
most.
is the beginning. Opposite beginning.
Heavy. The aleph and the bet.
Abib.
So
Find that, break that word down. Them letters.
let's look at it. We could look at the aleph right here as just like you said, it's the father, the beginning, right? These two right here, this is father right here.
See? And that letter right.
Huh?
South the Hebrew letter, right?
Yeah, so Aleph and the Bet, Ab Yahuwah. Abba's beginning. And then you got the Yah, which is a 10 or a hand, and then another Bet. So, hey man, that might be a powerful statement that I'll key on to, but I do see the Aleph and the Bet mean, you know, which being put together being the Father, and we know the Father is the head.
You want to address this person's comment out?
Yeah, let's get it.
Holy Spirit, I6Z, whatever that means. It said there is no feast. Huh?
He said
there's no feast.
There's no feast.
There's no feast. They got a lot of comments on here.
Okay.
Y'all,
let's address one comment at a time.
Yeah. Let's talk about
no feast.
There's no feast.
In the sense of we shouldn't be keeping feasts anymore because we deliver some spiritual sense.
It's a troll, lot. It's a troll because they got a lot of things on here.
We have no trolls too.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't no feast for you in the lake of fire.
No picture on here either.
All right, well, yeah, ain't no feast for you in the lake of fire, bro. Like, I ain't come here to play with you, though. Like, that's the difference between me, you know what I'm saying, and you hide behind a no name and a no face. But we up here doing the work of Yahuwah. Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a little bit different vibe for you. You can catch that through the airwaves, bro. You go to sleep with that one, you hear me? But what we showing you is the facts, and you know what I'm saying? You can let your mind be controlled by demons, and you can sit up here and play with your salvation all you want. I ain't come to play with you. He told you, in this month, I brought you out. He said, in this month, I brought you out in the month of Abib. Exodus 13 and 14. This day came ye out in the month of Abib. All right? So the scriptures is going to stand the test of time. Abib has been Abib since Abib has been Abib. All right, January is a new creation. That is not what the Father prescribed. This Gregorian calendar that we on, right? What this Gregorian calendar is a trickle down of time. This thing has trickled down through time. It started off with Caesar calendar, which had 10 months. It didn't even have 12 months. That's how we got. That's all right. Check this out, y'all. What do the names of these months mean?
Another God.
January is a god. February is a god. March is the ram god, Mars and war. What's the next one? April. You got March, April, May, June. You know, these are
back to some type of God. Even the days of the week.
Some type of God, but not all of the months go back to a God per se. Because once we get to October, once we get to September, what in Spanish is siete, in German, so you know what I'm saying? Septuagint, 70. Sept is 7. So that's a number. So why would September be the 7th month? So September, what's after that? October. Hey, but October's the 10th month, right? Yeah. So because originally that's how they had their months down. Then you get to December, which is the 10th month. They only had 10, or it's the 12th month now, right? But it means, DEC, it means 10. Like Decagon. Originally, December was the last month. Then it was added January. Yeah. Then January came into effect. Then February came to effect. I believe February is the newest added month, and it's the shortest. So they ended up having 12 months, like they know that they should have, because they found out from us, just like they found out everything else. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah. So they have to create their calendar. Our calendar was given to us from Yahuwah. So now, if you say you follow the Bible, or you say you follow the Most High, what's so hard about just following the Most High's calendar. We now know that Abib is in what we say, March or April.
Yeah.
So depending on the moon cycle. So now, how can we figure out what is going to be Passover for this year, right? Or for this Gregorian calendar on 2026? We will have to find out where we at today. Now, we got different tools that we could use these days. What I usually use is something like this, a moon phase calendar, that'll show you today's date on the Gregorian calendar, right? Today is the 3rd.
Yeah.
So Saturday, it'll show you that the phase will be, and you got better apps that tell you percentage-wise, but you can see visually here. It looks kind of full. It looks full. I think it might be full. So yeah, today will actually be a full moon, and that's basically halfway through a moon cycle. So if you see it, the moon will go through all these phases. It'll be full, just like we read today, that it is waning in its perfection. So now that since it's 100% full, once we go to tomorrow on the 4th, and then the 5th and the 6th, you start seeing it gradually disappears. That's called waning. That's waning all the way until there is no light left in. So on the 19th of January, there will be no light left in the moon. So that's not a new moon, but that's a no moon. It's the end of the month.
End of the month. Facts.
The next time you see the cycle happen, it'll be a slither. And once you're able to visualize that slither, you'll start counting your days of your new month. That'll be your new moon. So that's how we're observing these days. And now what we have, what we came out of with dedication, feats of dedication will show us that, let's get there real quick. In the month of,
It was a new moon during the Feast of Dedication this year.
all right, so
Tell y'all, y'all be quiet.
all right, I'm gonna go to Strong's 3691. Sure. All right, so y'all see that? Kids Lab.
Let me pull it up for you.
Kids Lab or Casalou. You see it?
Yep.
All right, Kislev or Casalou. And the definition is his confidence. That's what they say. And then it says the 9th month on the calendar corresponding to November or December. So the 9th month of the calendar corresponding to November or December. In the book of the Maccabees, we know that they said they kept the Feast of Dedication on the 25th day of Casalou. Right here, Maccabees 1:54. The 9th of the Hebrew months, beginning at the new moon of December. Its etymology is altogether uncertain. It may, however, be also called from a longer or big word. But basically, around the time of December, right? Or it could be November, December, I believe. But what some folks will get confused is on the 25th day of Casalú, right? Not the 25th day of December. The 25th day of December is Christmas. The 25th day of Casalú is the Feast of Dedication, which we just participated on December the 14th, right? So with us knowing that we just came out of Feast of Dedication, now we can figure out the rest of these days. So from let's look at it. Let's go back to December. We started at sundown on the 14th, I believe, right? So this is how it will look. This 14th day of December 2025 was the 25th day of Casalú. Right, we kept the Feast of Dedication. Now, this is the 9th month. What we told y'all, when you see a no moon, that's the last day of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you see that slither, so now the 21st of December was a new moon. So now we can start counting from there for a month. So we know this is the 10th month. Started right around here. Started right around the 21st of December. Now you can count from new moon to new moon. So now the next new moon, let's go to the next month. Boom. Around the 20th of January. Boom. So that's 10. We're gonna go to the 11th month. New moon. February 18th. 11th. We'll go to March. New moon. 20th. That's the 12th. Then we get to April. We'll see a new moon on the 19th. And, you know, it could be questionable if you can see the moon. So some folks might say 19, 18 or 19. Right? I'm just going strictly off of the app, seeing the slither, the 18th. So this will be the time of Passover coming in. This will be the time of Passover coming in. And that corresponds with what we read about Abib. It should be in the month of March or April. And as we see, you see, month ear forming, of greening, of crop, of growing, green Abib, month of Exodus and Passover, March or April. So that corresponds with how we just figured this out. So now we got April 2026, after the dark moon, 18th on through. So then we would just figure out what days on the Hebrew calendar. So now we can start counting Hebrew days. Because on 18, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then let's see. Let me see. Would that be the first op, or would that be 17? Okay, what? Okay, let me show you something. I was a cycle off the, so I was a month ahead. Let me go back. From December, we know we in the December will be the 9th month, so we'll count basically new moons. So we'll say the 10th month started on the 21st of December. Let's go to the and it ended on it will end on the 20th of January. 11 will be in February, new moon. Oops. March, new moon, 12. So then when we get to, 12. So then we'll go a new cycle out from there on the 31st. I just want to get this right.
Yes,
Because you got the first for a Passover, right, Vision?
You know, he had the first through the 9th.
Okay, 1st through the 9th. So when we go to April 1st, it will be a full moon. And if we go to, let's go to, back to Exodus 12. So we show on the 14th day. Okay, right here at verse 6. It says, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Yasharal shall kill it at evening. All right, so when we get to the Passover, we know it's going to be a 14th day on the moon cycle. All right, 14 days on the moon cycle will technically be a full moon because the book of Enoch tells us that. So the book of Enoch tells us that on the 14th and the 15th day of the month, the moon is full. And on the 15th day, it starts waning. So once you get your calculations, just go backwards from April. It's a Wednesday, April the 1st. It will be a full moon. So we can go backwards from there. And that's pretty much how we could figure it out. But that will be Passover for 2026. Will be April the 1st, Wednesday, the 14th cycle of the moon. It'll be full. And then you can start counting your days. So now we know in the book of, let's go to Leviticus 23 real quick.
April 1st.
Yeah, April 1st. So Leviticus 23 talks about these are the feasts of Yahuwah at verse 4, right? Even holy convocations which ye have proclaimed in their seasons in the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahuwah's Passover. So the 14th day at even. So the 14th day at even, it'll be a full moon. And that is one sure way you could calculate the feast days is by looking at those full moons, right? And it says the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahuwah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahuwah 7 days. Ye must eat unleavened bread. So this is the feast of unleavened bread. So immediately after this takes place at sundown, you'll eat the lamb, you automatically go into unleavened bread. And you'll do that for 7 more days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then down to sundown. And you got it from the 1st through the 9th, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so at some point, so now we gotta look at this, right? So we know when Passover is. Now we got a few things going on with Passover. We got Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits that all take place in that same chronological order. So the next feast after these 3 would be Shavuot or Pentecost. Now, the only way you figure Pentecost is by knowing when Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits was. So there is 2 forms of thoughts on this subject matter, and we're gonna look at something real quick. I think I said like where the Sanhedrin. Oh no, the Sadducees in charge of feast days during Jesus' time. I'm gonna use that word because that's what they're gonna, you know what I'm saying. So I'm Googling this, y'all. Yeah, can y'all see this?
No. Here you go. Blow it up some, bro.
Right here.
A little bit more and then move it over to not
Like that.
You can make it a little bit smaller so you can see everything.
All right, so that's the question. Were the Sadducees in charge of the feast days during Jesus' time or the Messiah time? It says yes. All right. The Sadducees were largely in charge of the temple and its operations, including the major feast days during Jesus' time. Right. So the Sadducees was in charge of that. It says many of the high priests, such as Annas and Caiaphas, were Sadducees, and they held the majority of the seats in the Sanhedrin, the Jewish ruling council. Their responsibilities during festivals included overseeing sacrifices. The priests, primarily Sadducees, were responsible for performing numerous sacrifices at the temple, which was a central part of worship during the major festivals. So if they're in charge, they're the authority, right? Everybody's coming to the temple to sacrifice, and they're handing their stuff over to them. Right. It says managing the temple complex. They were in charge of the overall maintenance and administration of the temple in Jerusalem, which included managing the large influx of pilgrims during Passover, Shavuot, Pentecost, and Sukkot. All right. So it was big crowds coming to the city. It's like Expo in your city when it's time for the feast.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl in your city. And this is also something that the lying prophet Muhammad capitalized on because it was something.
You say lying prophet.
Lying prophet Muhammad. Because what would happen in Mecca and Iraq at that time was something similar, right? They had 365 gods in that Kaaba stone that people would come and sacrifice to. So they was getting big money. They was getting big money over there at Mecca. All Muhammad did was say, hey, look, y'all, we're not going to worship stones and idols. We're going to worship the invisible God, right? He learned that from the Hebrews. But he just put his own God on it, which was one of them gods off in that. It was one of them guys off in that temple,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they get their Allah Moon God. So, you know, these feasts and things, man, big money come in. So they was in charge of managing that, the Sadducees, controlling revenue. They managed the commercial activities within the temple court, such as the money changers and selling and sacrificial animals. I'm just showing you that it was really duties being done, and like this is a lifestyle, right? The Sadducees had big influence on that. Now the thing about the Sadducees is they was direct descendants of the Levites. All right, so there was hereditarily in this position. They did not believe in the resurrection. You know, so we're not trying to lift up the Sadducees and like, oh, they were just all perfect, but they was just in charge of these things. That's just the facts. They were in charge of the temple keeping. They were in charge of the feast times. They were in charge of that. And this is when the Messiah was coming through. This is why the Sadducees have official political and priestly authority over the temple. The Pharisees have more influence over everyday spiritual lives of the common people and the synagogues. The two groups often clash over religious law and traditions, but they united in their opposition to the Messiah, whom they saw as a threat to their authority and stability of their relationship with Roman rulers. So, you know, just want to show y'all that to even show y'all back then, even though the Sadducees was in charge of the feast days and the sacrifices and stuff, it's still the same thing that we got going on today. You got this person saying this day, you got that person saying that day. This has been an ancient thing going on since we can remember. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So all we can do is take the information and do, you know, one or the two with it. But I believe that the Sadducees had a set time. And it also shows us one thing that let's look at this when it comes to Pentecost, because now we got to count, right? We found out when Passover is, which would be April the 1st, right? But in order to find the rest of the feast days, you got to count out from that. So now you'll count, let's go to Leviticus 23 real quick. And down at verse 15, it says, and ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of wave offering in, 7 Shabbats shall be complete. So you got to count 7 Shabbats after the morrow, after the Shabbat. So the Sadducees took that literal and what have made that to be it'll be Saturday the 4th of April. Right. You see that? Then I start counting. Yeah. So now 7 from there after tomorrow, you know, you basically count 7 weeks down. And that will put us at May. That'll put us at May 24. So from May 24th, if we count back 57 weeks, we'll go. And you count with me. I'm gonna count these 7 weeks. So we're gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4. This calendar make it hard for me to see. This calendar make it hard for me.
Blow yeah, go. Just go to. There you go. And just do it. You ain't got to worry about looking at from StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it this from the actual site.
Like this?
Yeah, make it see better.
Okay.
And then whenever you want to go back to StreamYard, just go back to that and close it down.
Okay. So if you count 7 Shabbats after that, it brings us to May 24th. Now, the other part I want to give you is the Pharisee side. You see what I'm saying? Because that's why you see these people with different dates. So you got 3 groups of people, pretty much, probably more now. I don't know. But you got those who believe the new moon is the full moon, so they're gonna do everything we telling you right now. They're gonna do that 15 days ahead of us. All right, so that's because they think the new moon is the full moon. Then you have those who will just have Pentecost on another day of the week, right? Any day of the week, because the Pharisees, what they did was they didn't go that Sabbath. They did the second day of unleavened bread. They start counting from there. You see what I'm saying? So versus the weekly Sabbath. So see, if we start counting after the weekly Sabbath, it's gonna always fall on that Sunday. If you start at the second day of unleavened bread, it could fall any day of the week. So that's why you might see someone celebrating like a couple days before or a couple days after us. You see what I'm saying? So we're just telling you where we're getting our days at.
Exactly. Showing you what we do.
We're just showing you what we're doing because, as you see, it's been an age-long debate. Some of the time of the Sadducees and the Pharisees.
It'll never be over with.
It'll never be over with. Then, if you see the Messiah, you see a conflict in Passovers in the book of Matthew. You ever notice that? There's a conflict in the Passover days when it comes to the Messiah being crucified.
Yep.
Because it'll say, oh, it was the day of preparation. Or it'll say, oh, he had the Last Supper. He went to did he keep the Passover or did he not? So that was these conflicting days. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we ain't trying to get too caught up on, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just certain things that I would not probably fall into, like the new moon being the full moon. I feel like that is a whole nother misunderstanding inside itself. You see what I'm saying? But and we could just go through the rest of the days and I pretty much just lay it out there. So after we come out of Shavuot or Pentecost.
Yeah, I must miss. What day you get for that?
For Pentecost?
Yeah.
I got May 24th. And then for trumpets, we got September the 11th. September the 11th. Atonement, Day of Atonement, we got September 21st. And for Tabernacles, we got September 25th through October 3rd. And we just wanted to show y'all how we was doing that and figuring that out. And we're just simply going from the moon, right? The moon cycle. And I could try to pull it up there.
I was just going to say, those who subscribe to Enoch, they can I think it started around like Enoch 71 or something.
I'm at 75 right now.
But it started around like 71 if they want to go deeper into.
Okay.
They started talking about the moon cycle around like 71.
Okay. Let me see. And I had an app on here, right? I had a Seeper app, and I don't know what happened to it.
Just type it in, it should pop up. I think all the books that we got, I think you can type them all in. I think we used it on one of your lessons, I believe.
pull up. I don't have to. I'll just pull up here. My bad. I just find this real quick. All right, real quick. Enoch 78 and 6. I just want to read this. It say in the 14th, the whole of its light is completed, and that's talking about the different portions of light that go into the moon, and that's why we told you that there always would be a full moon on Passover. Enoch 78 and 6. In 14, the whole of its light is completed, so that means it's a full moon. And then in verse 8, the moon has the half of a seventh portion. Verse 9, during its that word where it's going away, when it's demising, it says on the first day its light decreases a 14th part, a second day increases a 13th part. So it goes in great detail, like I said. And at verse 14, so this is Enoch 78 and 14 in the Sefer, it says, and when it is wholly extinguished, its light is consumed in heaven. And on the first day, so that's why we told you that when there's no light in the moon, that's a no day. That's the last day of the month. When it is wholly extinguished, its light is wholly extinguished, its light is consumed in heaven. And on the first day, it is called a new moon, for on that day, light is received into it. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. On the first day that light is received into the moon, that is a new moon. So it's not a full moon, because a full moon has had light going into it for 14 days. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So this is the purpose of us even doing this, right? To get closer on the same track. So if you're under the impression that the new moon is a full moon, I'm not sitting here condemning you. I'm not sitting here throwing stones, anything like that. I'm just showing you, if you read the book of Enoch, chapter 78, at verse 14 and 15, it reads, I'm going to read one more again. This is what the book said. I didn't write the book. Did you write the book out? I didn't write the book either. I just read. I'm just reading the Bible. I'm just reading the Bible. Goodness gracious. It say this. Verse 78. And when it is wholly extinguished, its light is consumed in heaven. And on the first day, it is called the new moon, when the light is received into it. It says, for on that day, light is received into it. So when light is received into the moon, it's a new moon. That's when you can start counting your month. It becomes precisely completed on the day that the sun descends into the west, while the moon ascends at night from the east. So, I mean, they're getting very technical. So that's how we're calculating the days.
That's what it said.
That's what it said. And so, that's the importance of it. But, all praises, sorry for the technical difficulties or whatever. But I think we got a lot put out there, and hopefully you understand the severity of like that Janus God worship, right? Because that's just one day, one God, one false God. What about May Day and Mother's Day? Here come February. You know what I mean? So, don't get caught up in the days of man, but start learning the time frame of Yahuwah, the luminaries, you know, the just learning the scriptures.
Mm-hmm. That's the way of the Most High. And it said, "You love me, you keep my ways." You can't say you love God and keep it His way. Them are His ways that He told us to keep.
We just doing what He says, because you got lip service, then you got obedience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The action to it.
You gotta put the action.
Yeah.
And so, you know, all praises to the Most High, though, that we're able to wake up. And, you know, this ain't for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Some people just not built for this, you know, but it's not grievous, it's not hard, it's just a different system that you have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I would rather have more information than less information.
This is the way of life.
That's it. I think that's the life of a Hebrew. We seek information.
So whether it's a little bit of truth in everything that you see, so you can't say you didn't know this, especially in the day of technology.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How are you using the technology?
It's about using the technology and, you know, using it for
a righteous
cause.
Yeah.
Because you sit up here all day scrolling, get some information. Where they come up with these days and where they come up with this, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to scroll, whatever, but then you got to apply yourself and you got to elevate. It's time to elevate people. You know, especially you trolls out there trolling, like, you know, hey, I ain't the
Holy
one.
Spirit.
I really ain't the one. You feel? I'm a different type of brother. I'll get with you. But in righteousness. But we can chop these scripts down all day, you know what I'm saying, in righteousness and in building, you know, and it's been just a good time these last few weeks, linking up with the Mishpaka, you know, Feast of Dedications was awesome. I was talking to Coty about that. And the more we gathering, you know, learning more. And it's not just about learning the text too. You know what I'm saying? It's also about learning how to be a better eye to my eye, how to be a better father to the children, how to be a better leader in the community. So you only get this by actually doing what the commandments say and gathering. Because then this brother could work on me. I could share something with this brother. This sister can impart on her. The children is in the environment. And once we get all this thing together, the Most High is in the mix. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So with that, I say Shabbat Shalom.
Busy Shalom.
Till next time, y'all. Most High be with y'all.